Here we go. This is a Stella Artois beer, and it has the paper around the top. This is your handy dandy propinator. This is guaranteed a perfect open of your beer every single time. All you got to do is just stick it on top like this. Don't twist it and turn it like this. Is what I was doing before. I was doing this. I don't know. It was really stupid. I felt really dumb. And then you do this. You can hear the little seal. And then boom.
And it saves the cap. It doesn't bend the cap.
It doesn't bend the cap. It saves the cap in case you want to recycle or send it across to send all your caps to Stella Artois and they'll recycle them. Because we don't have enough shit around here.
Yeah. Oh, so how's it going tonight?
You don't get my Jethro Tull reference?
No.
I'm not 100% sure who Jethro Tull is.
Jesus Christmas. Where's Jessica when I need her in these moments like this?
She is.
I'm not guaranteeing she would know.
She is dying. I'll tell you how sick she is. Like 10 minutes ago.
So sick that you thought it was funny.
Yeah, it is funny because none of us are sick and we all actually go out and leave the house. But yeah, so I'm standing at the freezer like 10 minutes ago, making my drinks. And I don't want to use the ice maker, in the door in a stainless. It's loud. I don't want to disturb her of dropping the ice in there. So I open up the freezer, pull the tray out to scoop some ice out. Right as I'm scooping some ice out, I get this like spasm in my knee, my bad knee, like someone hit me with an ice pick. So of course I drop the whole ice tray. It's just making this god awful sound, ice everywhere, and I'm like, oh god, now she's gonna wake up, pissed off. I go in there, just dead to the world. Doesn't even hear it.
That's great.
So I sweep up all the ice as it's melting, trying to sweep up
Dogs
ice.
don't eat it?
No, they were Skylar's in bed with Jessica, and Stella's in here in the office because it's thundering outside, so she's hiding underneath my desk. So I had to scoop up all that. That was a full ice tray. I don't think they could have eaten but a couple pieces. And like I said, I'm trying to sweep them up as they're melting. And then I threw Wyatt a towel, and I go like one of the dog bathing towels. I'm like, hey, mop all this up before your mom gets up. I got a thing to do. So I came in here.
That's great.
Do you think it's mopped up?
Yeah, he does a pretty good job of that because he has like a little towel whenever the dogs splash water from drinking. Like he's on the ground, like he doesn't want any water on the ground, so he mops it up real good. So he probably did a good job. If not, it'll be evaporated by the time.
You use Wyatt around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to turn down the AC, so it'll be evaporated by the time the show's over or she gets up. It's been hot. It's been hot. We had we thought something was going on with the AC the other day. It was like 79 in the house.
Oh my god.
Well, it was just I'm hitting all the vents with my infrared gun, and they're all reading like 56 on the vents, so I know they're probably putting out 62, 64 air. So I happened to go outside because I was going to check the drain line, and like the sun was just poking through the trees and like beating down, like it was like a laser beam right on the outside unit. I put my hand
the alien.
Yeah, that's what it was. So yeah, it was just as soon as the sun went down, cooled right back off. But yeah,
it's just been horrible. I'm ready for this heat and humidity to be gone.
Yeah.
It's getting old.
It is. I've been back to work for like 3 days, and I'm like, this sucks. At least I missed most of the summer, though.
But we did talk last week. Kevin is not a sweater. He does not sweat.
Yeah.
He just glistens.
So you don't sweat because
he's Kevin.
You never did, or got lasered, so you don't sweat.
Were you once a sweater?
Because they actually do a procedure using laser, so you don't sweat for excessive sweaters.
Yeah, they also have they inject Botox into your armpits.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So you can do that. No, I'm just not a heavy sweater.
Do you not do enough work to sweat?
I do. I just don't sweat. Like the other day, like I came home from work. It was probably 3:30, so it's a hot part of the day. They just delivered the rock for the driveway. So I've been trying to spend 20, 30 minutes just raking rock out, standing in one spot. And Yeah, no, I didn't even.
Not a bead of sweat.
I think
my shirt was moist, but it wasn't like you couldn't wring it out.
I think if you and Jen, let's start the show because I want to get into this.
All right. I'm Broadleaf Bully Kevin.
I'm Broadleaf Bully Kerr.
I'm Broadleaf Bully Jen.
And we are
the Broadleaf Bullies.
We talk. You listen. We are the Broadleaf Bullies. And here's your hosts, Kev, Kerr, Jessie, and Jen.
Okay. I think you and Jen doing a show by yourselves would be an hour and a half long of just missing each other's smart-ass comments. Or
it just goes back and forth. We recognize it. We just put it in.
Did I miss something?
Do you not do enough work to sweat? Oh, no, I do. What I like to do is I like to do the ratchet. And I do this. I can see you guys just going back and forth, making comments on each other. And the other one just going, why, no, Kevin, I do that. Let me explain to you how.
So I know at work, I'm a very efficient worker. Like, I don't leave my space when it's not necessary. Like the guys, like Eric, I mean, he's drenched 15 minutes after coming, like literally has to change his shirt 15 minutes after being there.
Is your space like in the perfect location of airflow?
I set my space up so I can work efficiently. Like his toolbox is probably 25 feet away from like where the car he's working on would be.
Well, that's just
my toolbox is 2.5 feet. Like if I'm touching the car, I can touch my toolbox. So I just have to turn around. I don't get why everybody sets their bays up differently, but I just work efficiently.
But it's not always efficiently because you saw me. Jen comes over today and I'm in here doing work and she goes, get ready for the week. She said, hey, can I bar you outside? I'm doing yard work. So now I have to too. And I was like, sure. So
I try to do my best. I don't have the strength for some of it. There are some things that men should do and women do not.
We had that conversation last week and it went over so well.
Well, but I'm more in agreement that there is hard to find men and women roles.
Wow. So. No, last week was fucking brutal. But then, I get the ever so popular, I got it ready. It shouldn't take you much to get rid of this stump.
Yeah, I've heard that before. You should be able to do it quickly.
It should be done quickly. So I'll go out there and I'm like, nah. No, it's not very thick. But it's very, very deep. That's what she said. And I was out there for 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Drenched.
Freaking hot and humid.
Came in here, took my shirt off, wiped myself down, stood in front of the fan, sat down, cooled off, started doing more work because I got to watch. Because if I put my arm down, then that area gets wet. And then I put a piece of paper on it, then not wet. So shit's sticking to me, and then I finally cool off, and she comes back and goes, oh, yeah, hey, by the way, I need your help. Can you help me out? Put on my shirt, go out. I need a trench dug here. Okay, great. Dig trench.
I did part of it, though. It's not like I didn't attempt it. I got as far as I could.
I didn't say you didn't. I'm saying I need you to remove the stump. Okay, great. It's not stump. Remove that one. All right, great. And so then I was done. I came in. I was drenched sweat. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to. I'm going to continue my work later. I talked to Chris, from the factory. Talked to him for a period of time. Had a couple of beers, had some dinner, and then I'm here.
My head sweats since I shaved my head. I don't have any hair, so usually I always have to wear a headband, or something absorbent because my glasses will fill up with water because it just runs straight down my face. Yeah, I'm raking the rocks out the other day because I said I just stand in one spot. Rake, move over a foot, rake a little bit more, so I'm not really doing any work. Jessica comes home later on. She's like, "Hey, why don't you get that?" She went out with my daughter, and she's like, "Why don't you get that spot over there?" Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I realized I missed that. I spent 8 hours at work and come home. It's 105 out. I decided to rake for half an hour and. My bad. I missed that spot over there. I said I'm working my way down the rake line, so because luckily the guy that delivered the rock, he was really good. He was able to partially lift his tailgate and drag it the entire length of the driveway.
Oh,
nice.
Oh my God. So it was like literally no work to be done. Just,
that's the best.
Stand on, just rake it on either side. Good to go.
Yeah. I when someone can work smart like that and can be efficient with dropping stones, mulch, anything like that, it's like, it's such a pain in the ass when it's a big fucking pile and you got to put it in a wheelbarrow.
That was the first time that we had it delivered. He just delivered it in a pile. It took me like 2 weeks. I'd come home every day. This was a year ago, and every day after work, half hour, an hour, shoveling rock, and then throwing it 25 feet, to the end of the like I said.
So what are you putting over the rock? Is that your new driveway?
Yeah, well, we already had we extended our drive. We have a 1-car driveway, so like 18 months ago, we extended it like the width of a car with just we put railroad ties up to block, and then we just filled it with rock. And then since we put the addition on, we needed to extend it yet again another probably 4 feet.
Yeah, you can get away with rock, not like up north where when it snows,
like do you
it's a
tamp
pain
it
in the
down
ass.
or anything, or you just leave it?
Oh no, it's where I park. So even the last one, it probably took like, I bet 6 to 9 months of getting it, driving on it, and making sure every day I pull in, I didn't pull in the same spots. I just kept going back and forth, and it just tamped it down.
Yeah, having a rock driveway up north sucks because it snows, and then when you're shoveling, the rocks get in your snow blowing. One flies and freaking kills the neighbor kid.
No, we don't have that hassle.
So lucky.
It's just rock. So, but we do have to have. I got a guy coming out next week to extend our French drain. Because having water issues now that we put the addition on, got a lot of standing water, so I had to map out my French drain and create a survey, and then we got a trench and put in a rock well, for the drainage. So then have the rock guy come and deliver another 5 yards of rock. So,
I'm gonna have. I think when we get it, I'm waiting for the fall because I want to. There's some areas down in the trees. We got to clean out some stuff.
Yeah,
there's an area that is just. It looks like they had thrown. And I know we tossed some extra, trimmings and stuff, but. I'm hoping that when it gets a little bit cooler, we can do something in there where I almost feel like something's living in there right now.
I think something is living in there.
So I'm going to send Joe in.
We will be disturbing whatever
with the headlamp
in that big pipe.
No, not in Pennywise.
It's when you look directly.
It's over by the Gnome Village.
When you directly look out of our backyard, right? We have a trail that goes this way and a trail that goes this way. And then right in the middle is this kind of drop off, and it almost looks like there may be a pipe that would come out of there, but it's hard to tell because right now it almost just looks like if I go in there, I'm gonna like end up in someone else's multiverse, right? It's kind of like a little odd looking. So I'd like to clean that out and really see what's in there, and then backfill it with whatever in order to have an area that you can sit or whatever. I mean, it's going to require a lot of work. I'll take a picture and show you.
I don't know if an unusual animal's living there because we really haven't seen. We're pretty keen on what pops up out there.
And they don't want to be seen. They ain't going to be fucking seen though.
True, but I haven't seen like even going down and where
some unusual animal.
Oh, here's an unusual animal. It was
that lives in our backyard?
No, but very close. A block up in front of the CVS at the corner of Harrison Bridge Road and Fairview, an armadillo was walking around. So Fox Carolina took a picture of it, and here's the whole thing. It was a pretty big armadillo. So
that was a pretty specific place for nobody that has any idea. Like
I know,
yeah. There's
you're following along at home.
Yeah, I know. I almost like what is the GPS coordinates of that?
Kevin can't tell you where New Zealand is. How's he going to know where Simpson Ferry Road and Harveston Road
Part
is?
of your birthday gift, Kevin, will be one of those placemats that we got for Killian that we practice state, so he could clearly tell us where Nevada, South Carolina, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey is on the map.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
to let
It
you
was
know, it's going to be part of your birthday gift.
so. Thank you for the
Anyway,
armadillo.
an armadillo, which then I had to Google it, of course, and I guess it's not unusual for them to be in South Carolina. I don't know. I think of Texas, New Mexico, Arizona. You don't think of armadillos just hanging out in South Carolina.
I would have thought, yeah, because we have them all over here in Florida, so I wouldn't have thought that they
Could have been
wouldn't.
someone's pet, but I found that quite odd. But like I've seen the chipmunks, we have a ridiculous amount of deer that seem to be forming. They're definitely telling their friends.
You don't say, yeah. The all you
Squirrels.
can
I
eat,
haven't seen
Imagine
raccoons
that.
yet.
the all you can eat buffet has opened up,
Yeah.
and then
Hey,
you're
Bob.
surprised.
They like
Yeah.
bell peppers
Yeah.
now.
Hey,
Too.
Bob, you hungry?
Yeah.
Come over here.
Yeah.
Some
Have
crazy
you
lady.
gone down
throws
to
food
your
out.
have you gone down to your local farmers market yet and see if they offer like
I
free
did.
food?
Yeah.
Well, I did. They actually take like the spoiled or soon to be spoiled vegetables and fruits, and they feed them to their cows. But they said during apple season, which is starting soon, they get an abundance of apples, so they'll actually sell like a giant barrel of apples for like $5.
Oh, okay.
So I'll have to go there.
Yeah, they have.
Right now, I
it's-
just go to Aldi's.
It's not like an
grab a ton
open
of
farmers
bags.
market. They own this big farmers market area, so
Oh,
they have
okay.
a farm like across the street. So
Oh,
you know,
okay.
they-
Yeah,
they-
our local one, it's a big one. They own it. They don't have a farm though, so any of the rotten or like the perishables, they just put like in these bins behind, and then
Mhm.
whoever wants it. You know, a friend of mine.
yeah,
got
they just
chick-
recycle it.
Yeah, they just people
So
pick
the
it
deer
up.
like
Yeah.
peaches, they
Yeah.
they looked so happy in those the other day because those went bad. I didn't realize fresh peaches how fast they go bad. Bell peppers surprised me. They were chomping away on those. Of
We-
course,
we-
you got
we-
carrots and apples and
we
lettuce.
we haven't gotten good peaches here in Florida in over a year. We keep
It wasn't a good season.
we keep trying
No, horrible.
different places, different farmers markets, and we cannot get a good peach. I mean,
Horrible.
It was
Horrible.
really bad.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad we're not the only ones.
Watermelon, very few baskets of strawberries that we got. The watermelon just had no taste, no sweet, just horrible.
We get good strawberries because we're right down the road from Plant City, like strawberry capital of whatever. But yeah, we always get strawberries year round, so we don't ever have a problem with those. But yeah, the peaches, man, that have been pissing us off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like peaches.
And we've even tried, like when you buy some, you bite it and like, all right, another bad batch. We've tried cooking with. They don't even cook well.
No,
They're
too
all hard. It's and I love peaches, and every single time I'm like, Jen, can you get some peaches? She'll get them, and I'll freaking cut one. I'll take a bite of it. I'm like, fucking terrible.
Yeah, harder than an apple.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, what are you smoking tonight?
I am starting off with a Hoya de Nicaragua, numero uno, and then I'll move up to the Hoya de Nicaragua Antonio after that.
It's a Hoya de Nicaragua evening.
Yeah,
I'm
I got to take
smoking
some.
the Nicaragua Sandilla.
Oh, right on. Yeah, I haven't taken any pictures in the last couple weeks of Drew Estate Hoya stuff, so I kind of owe them some pictures.
Good cigar.
So
Really good cigar. I love Hoyas. Yeah, I was talking to Chris tonight. Chris Weber owns the Tabacalera Nueva Nica where our cigars are made in. We were talking about doing some dabbling with Vitolas.
okay.
So we're gonna look at doing a 6x60.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the demand is there.
Yeah.
Shops are still saying, like we just don't understand. We thought it was going to be a fad, and it hasn't let up in like 2-3 years now that it's been real big. I can't smoke them. I do occasionally. I'll have one. I won't buy them if I get them for free. Someone sends them to me.
Right.
I'll smoke one, but I had one earlier in a Louisiana, and it was just a great cigar. What a pain in the butt, though.
The only cigar I smoked in a 6x60, there's two, and I sent you guys one. It's the box press, because when they're box press, they don't feel as big.
Yes, you're right.
And that was the La Gloria Cubana Spanish press.
Okay, yeah, yep.
And then I smoked Oscar Rodriguez GTO's The Mandinga. It's a 6x60.
Now, does it feel weird holding a square versus a circle?
No.
It's easier on
you're holding a pencil.
No, it feels weird when it's a big ring gauge.
Yeah,
I can understand that.
It goes back to our massage therapy from last week.
But on a box press bigger ring gauge, it's actually easier.
Yeah,
like Steve Saka's, he has that one for Corona, the Gran Elefante, which is like a soft trunk press.
I love that cigar.
That
do you have to alter your hold?
No,
I do. I
the
alter
Elefante, the Elefante is a good cigar. I like that one, and that ring gauge was really enjoyable.
Oh yeah. I'll alter the way I smoke and the way I hold a cigar when I have any box press, let alone because I'm a twirler. So when I smoke and I take a puff, I twirl it as it comes out, it's hard to do that.
This way, the burn goes evenly around. Is that why you're twirling?
No,
and just for our viewers, I don't smoke cigars.
I don't know why I do it. Like I said, back when I first started making videos, doing reviews, people used to call me out on why do you do that? I go, I don't know. I don't know what. And a couple of old guys, had chimed in. Is like, we've always done that because we were taught for an even burn is keep the cigar going around. Other people say it doesn't make any difference. I have obviously picked it up somewhere.
I don't think you build up enough centrifugal force to make sure that the burn is even.
Yeah. Well, do you twirl as you inhale so it ignites it gets hotter?
Yes.
So therefore the burn, it does get affected as we go into science.
So
if you're drawing a cigar and you twirl it, you're not drawing at different points. It'd be different if I was drawing at a lower angle.
But you don't know how the air flow's coming through the cigar.
Yeah, I double puff everything, so I twirl as I puff.
You're going way too fast.
Yeah.
I'm gilded onto centrifugal force is what it's all about.
No, I don't think it is, though. Someone has to do a science experiment.
I don't know. I'm not going to get it anymore. Last week, we started talking about male and female massage therapists.
I would like to
and the next thing you know,
because I have a completely different point of view than Jessica.
Next thing you know, Jessica was like, it was funny. It was funny.
She was hot.
I heard. Kerr told me.
I know she's not here to defend herself, so I will give that disclaimer. But in my personal opinion, I think she was contradicting her own self.
I think several times
she went in defensively.
Well, no. I mean, she brought up a question about male female and thought Kevin and I were weird, which I understood, which is fine, right? I'm cool with that. Then she asked me had biases, men and women, and then it just turned into this whole, well, why do you think a female is better than a male or a male is better than a female? And I was like, I didn't say that. She's like, why didn't you say you said? And it was so to the point where I was like, I got confused, and it was pretty funny though. It was
maybe because you always kind of egg her on. So
I think she was on. I think she was ready. I think she came out swinging, and I came in peace.
She came into the show a little bit. I got with her dukes up. Like she came in like, all right, no shit tonight.
I was like, hey, how you doing? What the fuck, Jess? I mean, what the fuck is going on here? You stuck your hand out. I was gonna shake your hand, but it was pretty crazy. But
I'll have to listen to last week's episode.
It's funny. But yeah, Chris and I were talking about the 6x60s, and I told him, I said, hey, you're never gonna guess what happened. And he's like, what? I go, remember the factory that used to make my old cigars in Honduras? He's like, oh yeah, the one that shut down. I go, no. There's, and I knew they didn't. And I knew they didn't shut down. I said they reached out to me and want to make cigars again with me. And he was just like, well, hold on for a second. I said, well, it's kind of funny because I know I snapshot some, but there's like the conversation was going like they didn't believe that I was who I was or who I am.
Really?
Who you?
Well,
they didn't believe you were who you were.
No, they don't believe. They didn't believe I was who I am. I think is the proper way of saying it, because it was the messages were like, oh yeah, we used to make cigars for him and we're interested in making cigars for him. And I'm like, I know, I used to make cigars with you. And they're like, yes, we made them for him and we did blends. I'm like, I am him. I felt
Yeah.
like Jesus, like I am him. Who do you say I am?
Yeah.
And at one point he was just like, well, he said it again something, and I go, I am Kerr Viajante of Stogie Road Cigars and Viajante Stogie Roads. I'm father to a murdered son. I mean, I felt like I was Maximus Decimus Meridius there for a second. And I'm like, I did work at the San Geronimo factory. You made my cigars, edition on 35, blah, blah. I said, you made it. He goes, well, if you are really him, then we met on a conference call, on a video. I go, well, yeah, I've chatted with Oscar before and other people. And then he said his name, and it was a different name that the Facebook name was. And I knew the blender down there, and I said, yeah, I recognize your name. You made me fucking cigars. It was a great experience at first, and it did not end well. And he's like, well, that wasn't our fault. You know, we changed some things, materials. He sent me some pictures, and I'm like, that's great, but it was announced that you guys were shut down.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, we're still here. They make the Don Lee Honduras Tobacco Company. I didn't get into the clown and my cigars. I was curious more to see what he had to say about, because I go, yeah, I said, I was told that this factory did not belong to someone else, and that person closed down their factory and moved to another factory to get the cigars made. He goes, he never owned it. It's always been ours. That's a misrepresentation. You know, we did business with him. We no longer do business with him. He made cigars here. We don't make cigars with him anymore, but he was never an owner. It's Oscar Ferreira. And I go, yeah, I know Oscar. I've talked to him before. So this long conversation, I was telling Chris this, and Chris is just like, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
like,
that's what you get for years letting someone else say that they owned your factory. And then, you know, I mean, that should have been rectified, you know, at the beginning, you know, so.
Yeah, because, well, in the beginning, it was like that whole like fuzzy math thing. Like, yes, here's the name, it's Tabacalera San Geronimo. However, I own this, I do that. Oh, then I do, then I don't, then I do, then I don't. And it was like this back and forth that made no sense. And I mean, I fucking sue me, but it's the truth. I have it in writing, and it's also some Skype recordings, but that's the way it went back and forth. And I was like, okay, well, you know, that's the owner, and it was my team. But all along, you know, it never was that person's factory. It was always San Geronimo. It always belonged to Oscar. I know Oscar owns the San Geronimo, or at least he owned the San Geronimo cigar company in Honduras. I don't know what the real deal is here, you know, with it being released in the States, but yeah.
And then why Don Lee Honduras never advertised they were made, you know, like they beat around the bush forever. Like if you came out and asked them, they would not tell you where their cigars were being made. You know, I mean, I found out, you know, from the old owner, you know, and they're like, hey, you know, yeah, we make their cigars. And then 6 weeks later, it's like, oh, we don't, those guys are shady. You shouldn't deal with them. And, you know, they're not even made at a good they're not even made at a good factory. You told me you made them, you know, they're made at your factory. What is like, I didn't even know what.
Well, the problem is when you lie so much, you have a hard time keeping track of your lies. So if he tells you in one breath that they're being made at their factory, the next breath they're being told that, you know, they're made at a shitty factory and you shouldn't do business with them. I also think that's when you and I were pretty tight, getting tighter, because you got to cover some tracks there, because, you know, it's not coincidental that the barber poles that I were producing were also being produced under another brand, just happened to be a half an inch smaller. Or wait, it was half an inch. It was I had a 6.5 by 52, and they had a 6 by 52.
Yeah.
So it was kind of funny. And then, you know, I'm sitting there like, you know, scrolling through their pictures and scrolling through the app. He sent me, I sent you that snapshot of their portfolio, and I'm like, yeah, I know those cigars because those pictures of cigars were sent to me 4 years ago when they started making my cigars.
Yeah.
That's why they don't have a cigar band on them. You know, those are the original gringos. That's the original edition 135. So Chris and I kind of was like, and he kind of said sort of like to you, like, was there any kind of announcement made that they're, you know, don't you want people to know that your factory is really open? Or I'm like,
how are you getting business?
I said, I don't know, man. I don't think they have, you know, I think when it comes to that, it's not anybody there is very social media savvy. And no one's taking that proactive approach. Nor do I understand the innings or the inner workings of the relationship with said former potential possible owner. All I know is that I was reached out with, and I told Chris, I said, I almost just want to do a short run with him just to fucking do a press release.
Yeah. Oh God.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Yeah. Just to do a press release.
I think Trash Panda should.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I mean, it's like when they were on, they were on.
Yeah.
When they were bad, they were bad. It was like just getting shitty tobacco, moldy tobacco, poor construction, inconsistency of that. But I'm like, so what's your minimum orders? Because I'm kind of thinking maybe we could just do a test run just to make a press release.
Why don't you send me some samples?
And go, listen, I'm doing a short run with a closed factory. It's a fucking it's a Festivus miracle.
Yeah. God.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
That's brutal. Yeah, and then like I said, then I had the issues with the beetles, you know, destroying, you know, I don't know, dozens and dozens of cigars that came out.
You're not the only one
factory.
who had fucking beetle problems. You're not the only one who had beetle problems. I know that was an issue across the board with some folks, and so yeah, Chris and I had a good conversation, but then we start talking about like Vitolas. You know, we start talking about doing the, you know, some deconstructed barber pole ideas, whether it's packing them up, doing 2 packs or doing 3 packs, you know, the Candela, the San Andreas, and then the Sandela, and doing each one like that. So
I think that's a good marketing.
Yeah, that's what Dave wants to do over at Boda.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So did you get the you never did respond last week? I think I sent it during a work day anyways. I sent you the screenshot of Boston Jimmy had posted the deconstructed.
Yeah, I idea how he got. I vaguely
that.
remember seeing that. It was like last week was just. It
Did
was.
we send it to him?
I
did.
Oh, you did?
Jimmy. I wanted to be. I kind of wanted to be a surprise. I didn't know that he would post a picture on Facebook.
Oh, I didn't.
Jimmy and I we were talking like 2 weeks ago.
We had such a crazy week. I glanced those.
And then we were, just chatting, and then I brought up, you know, like just cigars and like, you know, new things that are out there, and I'm like, oh, hey, did you happen to catch the deconstructed barber pole? And he said, he hadn't, and I started telling him, you know, your thought process behind it. And he's like, man, that is like super cool. That's like the most unique thing that I've heard of. So I'm like, I'll tell you what, I have some. I didn't have the Sandela. So I think I sent him the Big Tony and the Edition 35. I think those are the only 2 I sent him that I had.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Well, I had both deconstructed.
Did you do an article?
No.
He wants to smoke them both or all 3. And then I don't know if he's going to do an article. I'm assuming he will. You know, it's kind of a cool story, you know, that nobody's done before. But
well, you can reach out to him if he wants to do it. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate that. I literally last week, Kev, it was I was looking at my hours and putting my hours in, and it was fucking ungodly. If anything was sent between the hours of 6 a.m. and 7 p.m., the odds of me looking at it and giving a thumbs up and an LOL are very high. The odds of me understanding what I LOL'd and thumbs up is very low.
Yeah. I'm assuming he'll reach out if he has any questions, whether they're for sale or anything like that. Like I said, he's got 2 of the blends, so you know.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I saw the picture and I just was like, I didn't even read. I just saw the picture and I was like, so I know Chris is friends with him. I'm like, what, did Chris give him some fucking deconstructed? And I was like, okay, moving on to the next freaking issue that I was dealing with. And it was just, last week was fucking nuts. It just was. It was. Being busy is good.
Oh yeah.
Being busy is good, but it was. I was telling Chris when we were talking about some things. I'm like, it's one of those moments where it's like, okay, I have a 30-minute break at 11 to 11:30. I'm gonna run in the house real quick and make a sandwich. And I run in the house, and at like 11:05, my phone starts going off. Hey, I saw that you had a break. Do you have a few minutes to chat? Or I got to go to the bathroom. Hey, listen, I need about 5 minutes here.
Yeah.
I just need 5 minutes. And it was nonstop last week.
Yeah, it was busy.
I think it's going to probably take me about an hour to put my hours in from last week.
Well, and then once you're done with work, we had Killian all week. So, there was no downtime. It was just
That's the other thing, too, having Killian here, but a 4-year-old. Yeah, like that just doesn't fucking up.
Except for the one night, he was actually really good. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, he wasn't bad that night. He just threw a temper tantrum.
Just
he was being a 4-year-old ginger.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and he doubled down, but
he doubled down. It was like, don't double down on the fucking house. But having a 4-year-old during a really busy work week, it's like it just takes you back. It's like, and then what ends up happening is, you get back into your groove and you realize here's the reason why. And I know for myself too, I'm so structured and freaking have a schedule is because having kids when they're younger. And before I met Jennifer, when I was alone, single, and even with Jennifer, with our schedules, having a freaking a tight schedule with the kids is good for you, but good for them. So it took me back, and I was like, okay, this is cool for a week, but wow, like at the end of the day,
mommy and daddy are back.
At the end of the day, when I just want to chill out and freaking put on Game of Thrones or something, I got to put on freaking Bluey.
Oh yeah, well it's the same. Like well, not exactly the same. We had to watch Jessica's parents' dog for like 3 weeks. I mean, that just throws you in a whole different.
I know, my God, taking care of a dog versus taking care of a 4-year-old child.
Another dog though in the mix it's not the same, but it is challenging. I could see that because it's extra work. It's anytime you fucking throw in extra work during your normal day that you are structured, and it throws off your equilibrium and all your freaking, it's since we lost Cooper, our schedule was thrown off. It still is a little off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now did Killian realize? I mean, I'm sure he realized Cooper.
It actually. The day Cooper passed, just 2 days prior, everyone was over here. So Killian spent the afternoon with Cooper. They're just lounging in the living room.
Oh, okay.
He lies on him. Cooper just
hangs
out there. It was super sudden.
Yeah.
So, and knowing that he was going to be spending a week with them, what I did was I went to Target, and they have FAO stuffed animals, FAO Schwartz stuffed animals, and they had a golden retriever, and it comes with an adoption certificate. So I filled it out, saying, dog's name Cooper, adoption date, I did Cooper's death, who's the owner, Killian, where is the dog going to live, Killian's house. So when they came over, it was about 2 days after Cooper passed, to go over the week of him staying here. I told him how this is here for you, Cooper's in heaven, blah blah blah, but this is for you to remember him. And I read him the certificate, and he basically is, little Coopy, as he calls it, is with him all the time.
Oh, that's cool.
So to answer your question, yes, he's aware that Cooper's gone.
Yeah, it's noticeable too.
Yeah, but it, like, I know Jennifer's morning schedule, and even my schedule throughout the day when I had a break, go in, give snacks, so I'd go in, and it was always like some good, I call it red dog therapy, like when you're having a shitty day and he's laying there.
Oh,
give him a rub.
Nothing better.
Yeah. Right. So or I'd go in the house, and as soon as I walk in the house, I go, Coop. Now first couple of days I'd go in and yell it, and I'm like, fuck, he's not here. So it was some crazy adjustments, all in a very short period of time. I actually think having Killian here and having a routine with Killian help the transition of Cooper's structure that we had in the morning, and then kind of not having structure like this week. So I slept in my son Wyatt's room because Jennifer. Let me tell you something.
I was surprised Kerr came back to the master bedroom.
I gotta tell you,
he was all
fuck. I had the best night's sleep.
Yeah.
At this point in time, you realize I'm going to bed at 8:30. Like I'm in my room at 8:30 because he goes to bed at 8:30. He's in there with Jen. You know, I'm not gonna sit downstairs and watch TV, but I'm like, okay, I'm in my room. The freaking mattress is firm and perfect. I got a TV in there. I got the PlayStation 4 set up, so now I can watch freaking movies.
A little man cave. He just light a cigar. And
I'm like,
heaven.
Okay, I re-download all my games. I got Minecraft. I got Destiny, and I'm like, and Joe's right next to me, so Joe comes over, and Joe and I are hanging out. I'm like, this is fucking
like
cool.
Soulmates.
This is we were in a dorm room. So was it last night or 2 nights ago?
2 nights ago.
2 nights ago. I'm like, Joe. He's like, okay. So Joe hops on and he's playing Fortnite, and I'm playing with Joe. I got my phones on and we're talking to each other. He's in the next room. We play a couple games of Fortnite. I'm like, all right, man, I'm gonna go to bed and watch some Big Bang Theory. And I woke up. I was like, this is awesome.
He had a vacation.
I've got several friends that haven't slept in the same room with their wives in years. You know, they just, usually it's always snoring or sleep apnea with the machines and everything else. But I said I got friends. They said that they'll never go back.
Mine is, I snore somewhat, but you're not exactly a quiet sleeper.
No, I'm a snorer as well.
It's usually her ripping blankets away from me, or I've done it to you. I've given you elbows sometimes.
Oh my God, I've gotten knocked in the head. The
Yeah.
elbow to the head.
But Jen also does a lot of the freaking the when she's restless and can't sleep. It's like neither do I.
No.
It's like if Jen can't sleep, no one's sleeping.
Yeah, I'm flip-flopping.
And it's not like a light flip-flop. It's like a very frustrated, very angry flip-flopping. And I'm just like, and there's times it's like 3 a.m. I'll be like, and I'll let it go for a while. I'm like, Jen, what the fuck? I can't get comfortable. I'm like, well, by all means, keep me up.
No, Jessica, we both sleep like rocks. She usually gets up about 4 a.m. if one of the dogs is whining to go out, and then she doesn't even come back to the room. She'll lay out on the couch and play on her phone for a little bit and go back to sleep on the couch. But yeah, we sleep like rocks. And she always teases me. She's like, because I'm out, like nothing wakes me up, like period. Like, I mean, the house could probably be on fire is what she said. She's like, that worries me a little bit. Something happens, you're just going to sleep right through it. And I remember she's probably living here for probably close to a year, and like something fell out in the garage. Like it was like a cup off my workbench or something. And it was the slightest sound. I hopped out of bed, instantly got my gun, racked it, and like walked in. She's like, how the fuck did you hear that? And I go, because it's different noise. It's different. The same shit all the time.
Yeah.
Dogs barking, cars going by. That's, that's normal noise, but the slightest little.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Sammy and Zach got back on yesterday.
Where did they go? You never said
went to
where
Vegas. They went to Vegas for their
okay.
anniversary. They did the whole bars, restaurants. They're in their early 30s. So,
okay.
But the one place they went to, I'm very curious. I think it would be fun, but there's a little part of me is like, do we really want to do this when we go out there in January? It's called the Blackout Restaurant. So
I've heard of that.
It's 7 courses, and you are in complete dark. The idea is to use your other senses besides sight to enjoy your meal. So I asked her, I said, how was it? She goes, the food was actually really good and it's reasonably priced. So my questions were like, A, how do you even get around? She goes, you have to do a train to walk to your table. So hold on to the waiter and go to your table. If you have to use the bathroom, there's a panic button, and all the waiters and waitresses wear night vision goggles.
Okay.
My steak's hairy.
So it really is black.
It is. She goes, you cannot see jack shit.
Okay,
We put 20 questions waiting for
No
her.
fucking way I'll do that.
Okay,
ever.
I thought it was just really, really dark.
No, she goes, it is as you're blind. You can't see anything. She goes, you have to feel for your food and drinks. I'm already seeing things spill.
Nope.
I think it would be an interesting experience,
No.
but I'm a little hesitant because like if you freak out.
No, there's
could
no
be really
fucking
an
way I would
ugly
ever
way.
eat anything without seeing it. There's no
No,
way.
I don't think I could do it. I'd have to go there during
Not
the day when
gonna
the lights are on. Like, how clean is this place? First of all, like,
Well-
what are you hiding? What are you hiding here?
Kevin will
know?
sneak in his own night vision
Yeah.
goggles.
Last time they turned the lights out on someone and then turned it back on, it was in a messy room and they fucking did the Febreze thing. I'm
Yeah.
not eating fucking food. There's no way. There's no way I'm sitting in a dark room and trusting that someone's going to give me a plate of delicious, good food that isn't some sort of fucked up thing. It's not going to happen.
Well, I think it would be interesting.
Then you can do it.
I'm not doing it by myself.
I don't think I could do it. I don't think I would enjoy. I don't think I would enjoy myself.
Well, you're not
Yeah.
a foodie. You
Yeah.
eat for just energy, so I can't see you doing that.
No,
at all.
I was going to
I
say
would do it
you're
like
you're
the
explaining
four
this
of us.
great deal to.
Yeah.
to
Well,
to-
I mean, but I mean,
to
is
chicken
it?
nugget Kev.
I would
but-
think it would be interesting to see how Kevin would respond to it.
I would be entertaining.
So-
I don't like hibachi because I don't like him watch. I don't like watching him make my food. Even though
Well, the lights are out. You won't have to watch
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't like weird stuff like that. But I mean,
You
are
can't
they
have
no?
your phone on and
Are they known for something spectacular, or is it just?
It's just the experience.
It's
called
just-
the
yeah, see?
blackout
Yeah.
dinner.
Yeah, I'd rather go somewhere with the lights on.
I don't. No. You know what? And here's the reason why. Because it's like, that they have infrared fucking cameras, so they know that they're watching us act like a bunch of fucking dopes in the dark.
Yeah.
So there's that. Two, I'm not eating anything that I can't see.
But you feel it, you smell it. Use all your other senses.
If
You can
I,
practice
you know
at
what,
home.
I will.
I'll put you in the closet.
I will
Put
eat.
it on the table.
I will eat food in the dark if the Lord ever takes my eyesight.
Yeah.
Then I'll have no choice.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
right
if it was
now, I
like
do have a
if it was like a
choice.
burger and fries, I could eat that. But if it's like you said, like a 7-course meal or
It's a
something,
7-course meal.
that just seems like a pain in the ass.
here's your first course.
Oh
What
my
is
God,
it?
I would so,
I can't tell you,
I
but
would so
but you're
love
gonna
to
need a
watch Kevin do
fork.
it.
and then
Yeah.
and just it's a little spicy. What is it? I can't tell you.
Yeah.
Right there, I'm like, listen, I want my money back. I'm going down to the deli. I want to look at my sandwich. I want to eat it. Nah. not
Yeah.
gonna happen.
They went to Raiders game. I thought it was funny. So just like in New York City, you have people walking around you can take pictures with that look like famous people or dancers or characters. And of course, in Vegas, you have all.
Oh, hold on a second. You're muted. Yeah, you're there you go.
Okay, yeah.
So like you
I saw it
can,
pop
there's
up.
dancers walking around from the shows and whatnot. So you can obviously get your picture taken.
You gotta pay for all that.
But you have to pay for it exactly, which
Yeah.
their prices are a little crazy because I will send
And the picture
you
she
and
sent
Jess,
wouldn't be the picture I'd be paying for.
No, I have to send you and Jess the picture, which I actually blamed Kerr for it, so she wouldn't get mad at me. But they were little stoutly women wearing pasties for the Raiders game, and they wanted $20 for their picture.
Oh,
yeah,
I like,
and it goes up. I saw the one TikTok.
They
If it was
do
a
Venmo.
Spider-Man, it was $100 a photo.
I told Joe, I said, you better,
I'm just
You
gonna go
better
around
watch your
Vegas.
money
I'm gonna go around
when-
Vegas and be like, listen, take a picture with me. Who are you?
Yeah.
Fucking
And they
Kerr
have
Viajante.
I was watching another TikTok, and they have like these circles painted on or like taped off on the ground. Like they're not supposed to leave those circles to like harass you. So if you're
Yeah.
walking,
I
know,
just
they're-
sent you the picture.
yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'd heard some of the crazy numbers that they were
We
getting.
were over. I went over to their house today, to my niece's house, drop off their car they let us use.
Not very
And,
flattering.
Those are not attract. I mean, I don't want to say they're not attractive girls,
I
but
did. Sammy
Well,
got mad. I said,
those are not attractive breasts. Yeah, those
Well,
are
let's
not.
put this
It's a horrible
way.
outfit.
Jennifer's comment about the girls, she said, "Oh, that was from." They call me Grunk, Great Uncle Kerr.
Yeah.
So she goes, yeah, it was Grunk who said that. Of course, I get blamed for it. So I went over today, like a good guy. We were talking, and she was showing my sister, her mother, the pictures. And she goes, and Sam goes, I'm a Raiders fan now. I go, why? Because I went to their game. I'm like, that's stupid. Why? Because I bought a shirt. I'm like, okay. She goes, did you see the pictures I sent? I said, yeah, with the fat cheerleaders. And she goes, they weren't fat. If they're fat, then I'm obese. I go, Samantha, you're not obese. Those girls were pretty thick.
They were.
Yeah, I mean, compared to
She got mad at me, and I'm like, it's
they were twice her size.
It is what it is.
Okay, I would never try and pass myself as a thin man.
Yeah.
So for someone to say, "Hey, Carrie, you look like you're gaining weight," well, what do you mean? I'm thin. No. Just quit this freaking microaggression bullshit.
Exactly.
You're big. You're big. You're not. You're not.
And
it's
if you're
fucking
going to do
okay.
the pictures like this and ask for money, I'm sorry. You better be attractive.
But there's
you better
some
be
people that may
thin.
like that, which I'm fine with. But
$20 was
but
a
I
steep
did
price
see-
tag. They paid 10 for it.
I've seen them that freaking
10 too much, if you ask me.
it's you can't be selective when you want to be offended. So I'm like, I told Sammy, I was like, if those girls came to me and said, "Hey, let's take a picture for $20," I'd be like, "No, you should take a picture and pay me $20."
Yeah, there was
and the looks I got were like,
yeah, they're
fucking
like
bad.
their boobs were in their armpits. There's like a foot gap between their boobs.
And I wanted to know, like, are they wearing a G-string? It's kind of weird. Their fanny pack is right there, like just the whole, and they have like old majorette boots on from like high school.
When the Raiders emblem is looking at the ground, that's covering your nipple, those aren't good boobs.
God.
So I warned Joe. I said, "You're going to see hopefully attractive dancers walking around. Then you'll see this."
Joe's gonna want to room himself.
God.
But yeah, I mean, whatever. They got a little offended by that.
They
I was
did.
like, you know what? I'm sorry. I was
they're
trying
that
to be
generation
offensive.
anyway. So
It's
it
the
doesn't
I'm
matter.
offended generation because they weren't.
I shamed them. I body shamed
grow
them.
up.
I mean,
bit.
they weren't. I mean, they weren't friends with those girls. I mean, who cares?
No.
Yeah, not like making fun of like her sisters or cousins.
No.
Yeah,
And
you don't know these women. Who
Their
cares?
outfit just wasn't attractive. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it didn't fit their body.
I've
type.
seen some big girls in outfits that look good.
Yeah,
These
that
are
did
big
not.
girls that just did not look good. I mean, again, I don't try and pretend I'm something I'm not. If you're big and proud, then freaking I'm happy for you. However, you are not going to be appealing to certain people. And just as much as you want to be critical of who you're attracted to, then you got to be able to receive. That's the way it goes.
Yeah, that was brutal. I love that new stadium though. It is beautiful out there.
I looked when we're going to be out there, unfortunately, because I wanted to go to the hockey game out there. I forgot that they had a hockey team.
Oh, I didn't know. Do they play in the same stadium? Do they do? Or is it
I don't know,
different?
but they do. Las Vegas. Does
I didn't know
have
if they I didn't know if they swap the field. If they like do other. I never
don't
looked
think
up.
so.
I never looked up to see what.
Usually,
they do out
basketball and hockey are played in the same arena because it's really easy to put the court over top of the ice.
Oh, is that what it is?
Than it is with. The only time I've ever seen any type of hockey played on a football field is whenever they do the yearly outside game, which I would love to go see.
To do that too.
I know they've done it in Philly, they've done it in Pittsburgh, a couple times up in Montreal, but they just put a freaking rink in the middle of the freaking stadium, an outdoor stadium, and they have an outdoor
that'd
game.
Be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah, and it freaking. I mean, in Pittsburgh, the one year it was snowing. I knew some people, friends of mine that went, and they said it was so fucking cold. But it was snowing. The one goalie had a freaking a beanie cap, like freaking attached to his goalie mask and helmet.
The only thing that would make it super well, actually, I don't even think that would work because it is if the Raiders do really well this season, and then we would be there like around all the playoff stuff.
Then we can watch it on TV.
Well, no, but we
We're
wouldn't.
not buying playoff games.
Well, no, but I'm just saying you should
playoff
in the area. But I don't think being that the week we're going or the 5 days we're going, usually the Super Bowl is like the week following. It's usually the first weekend in February.
And just stay away from the Pawn Stars place. I heard that's a ripoff.
Oh, it definitely is.
Yeah.
I'd like to go just to go.
Yeah.
I want to see who's in there. But
They don't. They're hardly, unless they're filming. They're not in there. So
Yeah, I wouldn't want to freaking. I would never buy anything from that fucking place.
Yeah, a buddy mine went out there and they have the coins. They had a bunch. When you're watching the show, like the old man had his own coins made, and they must have minted thousands of them. So you can.
Well, Kerr is going to take
for
Joe to
them.
the Bunny Ranch.
Oh yeah, is that still open? The Bunny
I have
Ranch?
no idea.
God, I
I'm
haven't
sure
heard that.
it is.
I haven't heard that term in a long time. The Bunny Ranch.
Wasn't that like an HBO
Yeah.
After
Yeah,
Dark
the guy
show?
died. The guy died
Did
of a
he
heart
really?
attack. The
Was it?
the guy who was running it? Yeah,
Huh. That's funny.
God.
the
Yeah,
Bunny Ranch. Taking
That's
Joe to
how
the
old
Bunny
we
Ranch.
are.
Yeah. Like that's still
I
a
could,
thing.
yeah, that there. I could see even if I said that as a joke when we were actually out there, Jen would freaking stab me and Joe would freaking be excited. I do want to go check out some aliens.
We are. We
Yeah.
are going down the extraterrestrial highway. There's going to be some really neat
I want to get.
natural sights we're
I
going to
want to
see.
get abducted.
And
How
we
far
are
out
going
is-
to Area 51.
How far out is that from Vegas?
It's only 80 miles from Vegas, Area 51.
Oh, that's all it is. Oh.
But where we're going is actually we're going to end up staying overnight that Thursday night in a one of the oldest hotels. It's supposedly haunted or whatever, but it's actually an old like ghost town, and it's 4 hours from Vegas. And then,
Okay.
but it brings you through like over the Colorado River, through like all the awesome natural sites. And then they say supposedly stargazing is like the best in that area.
Yeah, no lights around. Desert,
I
desert, looking at the freaking stars. I mean, I would be the best. And
So
I just-
that's Thursday.
I need a vacation.
Yeah.
So I want to get abducted.
That's
Yeah.
going to be a good chance.
I do.
Yeah.
I just want to be
Just-
abducted.
Just learn how to use the settings on your phone to take the pictures of the stars out there. So you got to set your aperture so it stays open longer, so you can get better photos.
You'll
So
have
just-
to.
yeah,
It's like
tell us
it's
Yeah.
like when we take the pictures at night. Why it takes so
Oh,
long
okay.
to actually
Yeah.
take a picture and it looks brighter than it is.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you just have to learn how to take. Like I said, just I've read up on it like so many because I want to go somewhere where I can actually get a picture of the Milky Way, where you can actually
Yeah.
see parts of them, and you can out there.
So we're going to Vegas, but we're not spending a whole
see
lot of
that.
time in Vegas proper. Like we'll be there, but for almost 48 hours, we'll actually be in the desert.
Yeah, we'll be there again for PCA. I would like to go downtown. Obviously, I couldn't walk anywhere when I was there, so I would like to go because they have the zip lining through downtown. You can do that, but
It's pretty cool to see this stuff, but it's
I'd like to see the lights and just to
after
say that,
one
yeah.
time you're you're
Yeah.
satiated
Yeah.
because it is like when you go out in front of Caesars, it's beautiful. Like the
Yeah,
architecture out there, if you're an architect, is fucking incredibly beautiful. The
yeah.
lights are blow your mind. It's incredible. However, I'm not a gambler. They do have good food, and I went into the Italy area, that kind of supposed to be like Italy, and I had a meal there. It was fantastic. But other than that, I don't gamble. Like I go do some slots, $20, goof around and shit like that. Or if I want to drink for free, I'll throw $20 in the freaking digital slot machine at the bar, and I'll just play fucking slots and get free
Yeah.
beer.
Yeah, I don't gamble. Like I said, I didn't gamble when I was there at all.
No.
I'm not a big.
But that's
I
how you
think
get
yes.
free drinks, though.
Yeah,
We did it when we were in Mississippi.
Yeah, Biloxi.
We went in. That's when I got the Cigarprop. I used it in toilet. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah. Okay, yeah.
but-
And that's probably the only way to get a drink. Like I said, I couldn't get a drink in the 2 days I was there. I got
if you
one
sit
fucking
if you
drink.
sit if you sit at the
Yeah.
bar and the bar has the digital games in front of you, you pop
Yeah.
in $20
Yeah,
and they come over and it's right at the bar. Because my buddy and I did this. We were in Vegas for a meeting, and then we're at the Mandalay Bay, which was ridiculous. Like where my hotel room was to where our meeting room was a 20-minute walk,
yeah.
and we're still on the same property.
Oh, that's the way ours was to get to the hotel.
I'm
when
sure
Ed and I were out there. It was easily 20-minute walk.
It's crazy.
and you're in the same fucking building.
Yeah, so we'd finish our meeting and we had our whole company was there. So everybody goes to the elevators and Gene and I went to the bar, sat down, popped in $20. We sat there and probably had about 6 Coronas while we spent $20 doing 25 cents, 25 cents, 20. If I left making money, great. If I left freaking breaking even or low, I drank my freaking amount of beer on the amount of time I was there, and we were done. That was the end of it. The only downside that I had in Vegas was when I got food poisoning. I got food poisoning at the buffet.
Yeah,
I'm not a big
It was a
buffet
lunch.
person.
Well, when you're at an event, you know, lunches are always buffet style, right?
yeah.
So I had ribs, and I ate them. I was like, they're a little, it's still okay. They're a little sweet, whatever. So we were supposed to go and get certified in pharmaceuticals for this drug we were selling. So let's go through this presentation, get certified. And I was 30 minutes later, I was like, man, I am not feeling good. And Gene's looking at me, he goes, dude, you do not look good at all. I go, I'm not feeling good. So I went to the guy I was supposed to get certified with. I knew him. I sat down. I go, dude, I'm feeling horrible. He goes, so am I. I go, did you have the ribs? He goes, yeah. I said, I feel like shit. He goes, you fucking passed. Go. So I left and I saw Gene. I said, Gus was our manager. I go, tell Gus I'm fucking sick. Now I have to do a 20-minute fucking trek back to my room.
Yeah.
Right? Kevin, I kid you not. By the time I got to my room, I kicked the door open. I ran in. I projectile vomited in the bathroom. It was just a hot mess. And I was sick all night to where I called down front and they actually had EMT come up. And they were like, if you don't get any better, you're gonna have to go to the hospital because you have to start taking fluids because you have the flu. In the morning, I went to go see the doctor that they have at the facility at Mandalay Bay, and there was a line of people. Everybody, same thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's the flu. I go, yeah, it's called the fucking, the ribs in a buffet flu. It wasn't freaking the flu. You got food poisoning, but of course he's not going to say that because of legal purposes. So I got done. I had no fluids in my body at this point to fucking come out. So I sat through a half a day meeting, and then I had to fly from Vegas to Atlanta to Pittsburgh. And I loaded up on Imodium and just prayed the whole way. That's the worst when you're flying.
Oh, I can only imagine.
I can't. That's horrible. So, yeah, it will be a good trip when we're out there. Lots of good alien sites and other sites.
So I have to ask you, because we brought it up earlier in the show, and you said you're going to listen to it, but Kevin and I know Kevin and I have this belief, or not belief, I guess it's our preference, that if we are going to get massaged, it is going to be by a female, not a male. And I gave my explanation. Kevin just cut to the chase, said men are dirty. They scratch their balls.
Honestly, I think you'd be more comfortable as a woman just because you're not gay. That basically would come down to. As a woman, I just don't like massages unless you rub my back. I don't.
She's weird.
I don't care if it's a male or a female. It's just not for me. So it's hard to say, but I can see.
She's the Costanza that gets, she comes back from a massage more tense than when she left.
It was the one that you got me.
Korea.
I was like, what the hell? Like, I liked my head massage, like what they do when you get your hair washed. And,
I love that.
Haircut. But I can see your comfort level being more.
I told I said it has nothing. I said, if I don't care, I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I just prefer.
I'm not saying that either.
A woman rubbing my body
That's
versus
a job
a man.
that either or can do. There's just certain jobs that only really is more preferred with one or the other. It's just the way you are built.
I prefer, and it is sexist. I prefer a man.
I don't think it's sexist.
No. For on a not on the massage, someone working on my car. I prefer a man working on my car, and that is 100% me being sexist. That is period. Something I know women mechanics that are way better than me. I'd still want half a good mechanic working on my car.
I don't think it's sexist. I think it's just your preference. I think there's a difference.
No,
because you acknowledge that there are some women that can do it, but your preference is a man. That's where the difference is.
Yeah.
Sexism is saying that knowing that a woman is better, he still wants a man on it.
I don't
Yes.
think that's sexist.
Well, it's actually the definition of sexism.
Yeah. I think that is literally
Why? Because
the
it's
definition.
your if it's your preference.
Because of the sex, which makes it sexist.
Yeah.
Because Kevin's acknowledging that he prefers a male or a female, even knowing the female may be better.
And that's his preference. He's paying for a service.
Honestly,
so why not?
Yes.
Thank
you,
You're paying.
In this day and age, listen.
Jessica's
In this day and
probably
age,
not knowing
in this
any
day
of
and
this is
age, you actually bring up a very good point.
You're paying for it.
It's your preference. You can veil sexism, and it's my preference, much like so much is veiled now. But
no, if he took a car and it was you were somewhere unknown and there was only a female mechanic and you're stuck. If he said
he needed it clean,
I refuse. I'd rather be broken down than have her work on the car. Well, then that's where the gray starts.
I would just watch her the whole time.
Well, and there's nothing wrong with that either. Yeah. You're in the middle of nowhere, so to make sure she's doing it correctly.
She's our best mechanic. Yeah, I want to watch.
Yeah. We get people come into our shop and say they'll tell Luke the manager I want that guy working on it, me pointing at me like he just looks like a mechanic. Like that's the guy in the shop that looks like he knows what the fuck he's doing. And then Luke will be like, well, he does. He is the best. Just yeah, I just want that guy. He looks like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. So. When you have to pay for a service and it's male or
Kevin
female,
still brought it back to him, like he always does.
It always circles around back to Kevin.
Yeah, and same with a nurse. I want a female nurse. I think nothing wrong with male nurses. I've only known a couple in my life, but the couple that I've dealt with just doesn't seem like they know what they're doing.
I would actually say I'd go more towards a male nurse because I've worked with too many female nurses and I wouldn't want them to come near me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't give a fuck what sex you are. If you're the best, you're the best. I want you.
True.
Outside of a massage therapist.
Well, when I went to the hospital a couple weeks ago because I thought I had the blood clot, there were no nurses. Everybody has all these new terms, and I didn't see RN on a single fucking one. There wasn't even a CNA.
They weren't an LPN.
No.
Well, you don't want a CNA to do anything to you.
But there were no terms that I knew, like CNA, LPN, or RN. They were various technicians. Everybody was some kind of technician, and everybody had their own term. And I'm like, I didn't know if that's a new thing.
Hi, Kevin. Let me see your leg. I'm an admissions technician.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like my daughter, she has a badge. It says RN. She's a registered nurse. But yeah, at the hospital, like the emergency room, no nurses. Everybody was a different kind of technician.
Were they robots?
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know, weird.
They're robots.
No,
one of them was she was going to school to become a nurse. I don't know what level nurse. So she was some kind
nurse
of
practitioner.
Yeah, I don't know. She was some kind. She was taking my blood. She was the one that failed twice, poking me. So she was some kind of technician while she was going to school.
So all she does is draw blood, which clearly she sucked at her job.
Yeah, no, she wasn't a phlebotomist. That wasn't on her badge. So
that's funny. No, I told her. I said, listen, if you're the best in I don't care if you're a pilot. I don't care what you are. If you're the best, then that's great. But for some reason, if you're I told Jessica, and I do mean it, if I walked in and they were like, this is our best massage therapist. He's awesome. He's certified in this, and this. And he guarantee you that you will feel 1,000 times better when he is done with you. And then we also have Jane over here. She just started yesterday. I'm like, come on, Jane.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's it.
Jane, can you rub massage? Okay, perfect. Come on.
That's it. But on a pilot, though, I want all my pilots looking like Captain Sully. If you're younger than 60, I don't trust you as flying my plane. I get nervous. I don't even want to see
you looking like I just blacked out.
I don't know.
Name.
Blanked? You didn't black out. You
blanked out.
It's okay. You can black out if you'd like.
He was on Growing Pains as his first series.
Kirk Cameron?
No. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want him flying your plane because that's when he pretended to be a pilot in that.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's pretending to be a pilot. I think there's probably a lot of younger pilots. But I don't think anybody catch me if you can. I don't think there's any con men up there going, "Oh yeah, we're flying somewhere. 30-ish thousand feet.
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing anymore. That was probably back then. I think that was what, the 60s.
Yeah,
it
you
was
get away
like
with that.
Eastern Airlines or something.
Yeah,
That's when copy and paste really was copy and then you pasted.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, I want all my pilots looking like silly, just these old grizzled pilots. Like, yeah, I feel safe.
Like,
nah, I want a young guy who's got something to live for. I want some old guys like, yeah, it looks like, fuck it.
Yeah,
that was a good life.
I would be fine with Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks could fly.
That's you saying Sully.
Yeah.
Sully.
Yeah.
Now, I just, we were talking about massage therapists. I was like, fuck, I was in Pittsburgh and I was living there and my back went out and it was bad. And I walked in this massage therapy. I had 2 sessions in a row each day. And I had a massage therapist about 5 foot tall. She had tattoos all over her arm and she was like strapped together. She was put together. Comes in and she's like telling me she used to be in army. She was in the army, did this, did that. She was about this big, but ripped and 5 foot. I swear to God, it felt like someone was putting 1,000 pounds of pressure on my back.
Yeah.
She just knew what she was doing. And I was like, yes, this is freaking awesome. And it's a chick doing it, even better. If it would have been a dude, it would have been George. Hotel.
Yeah.
Korea.
Yeah, just like my chiropractor, I need big chiropractors. Like my chiropractor, it's like 2 years ago. He went out of town on vacation, and I threw my back out a little bit, so I had to go see another chiropractor in town. Little tiny guy, probably 5'10", probably 125 pounds. And I had told Dr. Benton when he got back, and he goes, "Yeah, I had to go see Dr. So and so," and he's like, "He didn't do a very good job, did he?" And I go, "No, he didn't." He goes, "He's just not big enough for you." Because like I said, Dr. Benton's a pretty big guy, probably 6'1", like 250. When he puts me on when he twists you in half, I mean, he puts all of everything pops. This little guy just couldn't do that maneuver.
I had a female chiropractor in the old place, and she was. Did you have her?
No, I had the guy.
She came in.
She was back surgery.
She was like a tall girl, but not anything, and wasn't skinny, wasn't fat, and I felt that when she moved my leg over in position, she went a little too high on the thigh.
Yeah,
just me, but I thought she did a good job. But they also have these new tables now to aid them.
Yeah. My chiropractor has it too. To like they do different, like they'll fold or they'll break and give away, and to add the extra I guess it's just less hassle on him.
Well, yeah, it is. And also, if you're guaranteed, like when I used to go to my doctor, and he would do osteopathic manipulation, which is kind of like chiropractor, right?
Yeah.
But Dr. Miller was as big as I am, so I knew Dr. Miller. Again, a big dude was going to do it. But when my back started spasming, we were hanging out having dinner. And we went back to my friend Anna Marie's house. It was me, Anna Marie, Dr. Miller, and his wife, and another one of the reps. We were just hanging out, and Dr. Miller had a couple too many red wines, and he's like, "Kerry, just lay down here on the floor. I could do the manipulation right here. It won't charge you. It won't cost you a thing." And I realized he's a little bit more efficient when he's not drinking.
Yeah,
and when he's at the table, because he got on top of me and did this move, and he slipped, and it looked like he was trying to hump me, and it felt very odd.
I always find it weird. I have friends like the husbands will try to adjust their wives' backs or like do these maneuvers that they saw on YouTube. And I'm like, do you realize you can physically hurt somebody if you don't know what you're doing? Like you could paralyze somebody. Here, let me see your neck. Get the fuck away from me.
No,
dude,
you don't.
No.
I used to crack my buddy's back in college. We'd crack each other's backs, or I'd lay down and my buddy Jimmy would walk on my back because he was only like $120, and it would crack like I had Joe do. Walk on my back, which is great. But when you start messing with necks and stuff, there's licensed chiropractor that will snap people's necks and freaking.
Well, did you see the young girl? She was in her 20s. It was only last month down in Atlanta. I think they still have her in a medically induced coma. She went to a chiropractor for neck issues. Severed both something in her
really
neck. You have to Google it. It's been all over the news, and they say it's a rare instance, but I'm like, what the fuck happened? Like, and she was perfectly healthy, just having neck issues, but you got
the adjustment because that happened up in New York several years ago.
It was down in Atlanta.
Kid hurt his neck playing football, little strained muscle, went to the chiropractor, freaking paralyzed.
Oh yeah, and I don't like getting my neck adjusted too much because it feels so good, and then like everything will be loosened up, you'll feel good. And then when it starts to stiffen up again, it hurts worse. It's like, and then you just get used to going in there and doing it. So
I refused to let him touch my neck when I did my back. I
told
him, I said, no. I said, no. Not the neck.
Yeah, he usually 28 years old.
Wow. Back, he usually always does my neck, but
no. I said, back, hips, legs, you want to freaking crack my freaking coccyx? Crack it, but you're not going near my neck. No, I don't like it. Does it feel right? I'll crack my own neck if I can, but I just, because it's like, okay, relax. Dr. Miller did that. Okay, relax.
Yeah. She severed 4 arteries in her neck. You only have 4 to begin with. I can't believe she didn't die from it.
How do they sever the artery?
Yeah. Cute girl.
Yeah, 4 arteries dissected during the visit. I'll send you the article.
Horrible.
Freaking
no, thank you.
Crazy.
No.
Wow.
Too much torque in there, man. Nighty night.
Oh yeah, I mean, I like it when it's done every now and then, but yeah, he does my back all the time. He'll do my shoulders, my hips. Sometimes I won't even realize, like, I'll be walking in, he's like, hey, because I'll go into the room while he's, he'll come in and goes, hey, I saw you limping in. I go, I wasn't limping. This back before I was limping. I wasn't limping. He goes, yeah, you were limping. So he adjusts the hips, and every now and then I'll actually dislocate one of my ribs, like on my right side. Something happened years ago, and like every now and then it'll pop out. It's the most painful thing.
How do you dislocate a rib? It's attached, like
it's something like it slips out or something, like it dislocates, and it's just like one rib on it, and then he's got to get it in. It's the most.
There is a
floating rib.
Well, no, it's not a floating rib, but I believe your ribs have what's called the same kind of same kind of joints that you have up in your skull.
The sagittal sutures. It's like a joint
the joint. Yeah,
the joint. Yeah.
That's why there's some osteopathic doctors that will do osteopathic manipulation on your skull for migraines.
Yeah,
because they feel that they could adjust the fucking sagittal sutures in your brain, and I think the ribs have them too, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know. That seems odd though, that you got a rib that.
It's just like, it's usually like once every other year. Like it'll you can't breathe. It's like every breath is just
hardware that was implanted into you.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. He's but he'll adjust it. Like he'll push it back in, and it's all I could do not to scream. But then it's instantly better when he puts it back in place. Kerr, you're muted again.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
That's odd.
That's weird.
A pop rib is a musculoskeletal condition that occurs when one or more of your false ribs shifts out of their usual position. It's also called the slipping of a rib or Cyraxic syndrome. This syndrome often goes undiagnosed and may cause other problems that make it very challenging to maintain physical activity.
That's the problem right there. It's a false rib.
No, I've never heard that term before. Yeah, false rib. But yeah.
Yeah, so Kevin, you can see your false rib is falsely popping out of spot.
Yeah. Yeah, it hurt, and when it pops out, like you can't breathe. Like it hurts to take a deep breath, and it hurts just as bad putting it back in place. But then as soon as it's back in place, like it's instantly better. Like there's no recovery. It's just instantly good. So I go see him for the first time on Wednesday. I was supposed to see him last week, but he threw his back out. So he had to take the week off. He actually broke his back in like 6 places years ago, falling off a house. And,
oh my God.
Oh yeah. So every now and then his back goes bad, and he actually sees one of the other chiropractors in town. But yeah, so he's going to try and do a little bit of manipulation on my knee. So he says there's not a lot he can do, but there's some, joint work that he, hopefully can make it a little bit better because the pain is still there quite heavily.
There's your diagram rib. The floating false ribs.
Interesting.
Unaware.
Yeah.
This
What a
has
medically educational show.
It has.
Yeah.
We've learned a lot.
We
Let's
have.
talk about our friend the otter.
The rapist, the rapey otter.
Yeah.
The rapey otter.
Yeah. There you go.
Very
The false
wicked
ribs.
creature.
Some
Yeah.
bitch.
Yep. You got your true ribs, and then you
Yeah.
have your cartilage, and you have your false ribs, and your floating ribs.
Yeah.
little bit of
Next time I go to a barbecue place, be like, you got any of them false ribs? that's what I really like. The false rib.
I want false ribs. I want to give me one false rib. Fuck the
Yeah. How much for one false rib?
I'll tell you, I've had bruised ribs before.
I heard
can't-
that's painful.
Can't imagine what crap or broken ribs would feel like, because
Nothing you
I
can
can
do.
tell you, bruised ribs sucks ass. It really freaking hurts. It's like breathing. The two injuries that I had were the most painful was bruised ribs and a hip flexor. Hip flexor. And that's where your muscle pulls away from the hip. You talk about something that's like, that's your core.
Oh yeah.
Like you can't move. Like you are, I hit it. I hit it. Actually, we're playing the deaf team from DC, and I was at the bottom of a pile. Someone piled in, hit me. I blame Bernie, you fucker, pile on. And I was laying there, and I was like, all right, Pop. I said, I can't move. I said, you're gonna have to help me up. And he helped me up. And when he helped me up, I just I'd take baby steps. And it was like the same pain that I have in my back that kind of controls everything, but it was all like it was all in the front and the sides. And I had never felt such controlling, incapacitating pain ever, to the point where I would breathe and it hurt to breathe.
Yeah.
I'll sit there
breathing
like that. And it was those are the two. It wasn't even like a serious injury like breakage or torn this, torn that. Just hip flexor and a bruised rib. And turf toe sucks too.
Yeah. Kind of remember who was it? I think it wasn't Peyton Manning. It was someone on the Colts years when Peyton was still on the team. He was out for an entire season with turf toe.
Turf toe.
It ended Jack Lambert's career. Turf
Really?
toe.
That's how he went out.
Yep, because turf toe. I mean, you can still get turf toe on grass, but it became more prominent, with turf, because your shoe gets that much traction that your foot inside still moves, and it just the fucking ball of your big toe just pops out.
Really?
And I got turf toe on grass.
Yeah.
I
didn't know that's what caused it. Yeah, I thought it was just like a sprain, but
no, it's equivalent to that, but it's bad, and like I said, it can end your career, because AstroTurf is, and it's so much better now. I mean, now they have OmniTurf, where they actually have this fake grass, and they put little pieces of like these little. If you ever see someone on AstroTurf when they get tackled, you see all
they got the little rubber balls.
Yeah. So, but when I played, we had AstroTurf. Like it was.
It was over concrete. Yeah.
And we played Wilkes College at Lackawanna Stadium, which was where the minor league baseball team for the Phillies play, and it's flat and it's bright green, and you're running off the field and you just fall just because you get that much traction to it. It's horrible, the worst. We practiced on University of Penn's field that had this. It was actually layered on top of sand, so it was softer.
Yeah,
but we had guys getting injured just because when you hit the ground, you stop, but your body inside your pads and everything else is still moving, and it fucking just pops. Something's got to give.
Yeah.
My big toes throb at the end of the day because I'm still limping. So I limp off my right side, pushing off on my big toe on my left or my right side, and then leaning on the left toe of the big side, or the big toe on the left side. Yeah, my toes throb at the end of the day.
Do you remember the old stadium that the Eagles played in?
No.
Franklin Field was that they played in, and they had too many injuries going on. Actually, during the game, part of the AstroTurf peeled up and was blowing over. And like you said, it was just cement.
Yeah,
just cement underneath there. They had a guy who got tackled, and when he landed, he blew both his knees out just because your feet stick.
Yeah.
But your fucking legs are still going. The momentum blew both his knees out, and they had so many so many injuries at Franklin Field that it just the best thing that ever happened in that field is it getting demolished.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the Ohio State field. I think they put new turf down this year for the Buckeyes. I think they do it every 4 or 5 years. They just replace the stadium, and they sell little squares, like 6x6 squares. You can buy, and it comes in like a commemorative box.
Mm-hmm.
This was, I got my dad one the last time they did the field, and it was pretty cool. So I'm waiting for that to go on sale, and I don't even know how much money they make on that. Cause it's like $150 for a 6x6.
Oh yeah,
and then it's more if you want colors. Like if you get because the big O in the center of the field, there's only so many. That's like $250 if you want red grass. But it's like $175 if it's mainly green with a little bit of red, or the different.
How much for like a piece of an O or a piece of an H?
Well, like I said, that they paint every time, so I don't think you can get the letters, but it's just like the red O in the middle. That's part of the turf, and then the cheapest is just the green. So.
Well, you figure. I mean, the investment in that. I mean, I remember our college. They went from grass to that. Well, after I was gone, it cost a lot of money, and if you're going to sell that shit off, it definitely helps supplement what that cost is. I mean, a place like Ohio State, with all the fucking money they get, probably doesn't need to sell $175 pieces to pay for the fucking stadium.
I think the last time they released their financials. They were sitting on $10 billion in cash.
Yeah. Most of those colleges I know Duke University, they could not charge freaking tuition to every student for from now until eternity and still not run out of money.
I was just reading that the other day on Princeton, Harvard, Yale, the other Ivy Leagues. I don't know if that Duke is part of the Ivy League.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was it. Yeah. I think Harvard had the most. They were sitting on $40 billion in cash, but they said the same thing. They could not charge everybody that goes to college for however many years, and
still be profitable. Still not lose money. Yeah, Duke. Duke's fucking. I think they're Ivy League. I mean, they're definitely one of the smarter schools around. Mm-hmm. And I remember that was something.
Blue Devils, right?
Yeah, Blue Devils came out years ago about Duke, and it was I was on their campus for a fucking incredibly beautiful campus, just awesome. But you got to figure you're going to a place that is how much a year? I mean, it costs an arm and a leg to go there, and then knowing that they could not charge you anything, and anybody who goes there for the next 50 years and still be profitable.
I know it's crazy. The price is going up. I mean, you used to hear, it'd be, a couple $1,000s a year to go to a university in your state. Now these people, ever since they passed the relief, giving everybody 10 grand, just hearing the stories about, I never knew the whole, student loan thing, just that vicious cycle, people paying, for 20 years and then still be, have the bulk of their, principal still left because they're just paying outrageous interest rates.
Yep. Especially if you start getting into the a lot of people who go to medical school and they get it, paid, that way. The amount of money, and then if something happens, or I when I got out of college, I did my 6 months forbearance. Right, it's typical. You come out of school, I need 6 months to find a job. You're still accruing interest during that time, right?
Yeah.
And then when you start paying your fucking student loan, it's like any loan, mostly interest up front and then goes towards principal. But when you have these ridiculous large amounts of loan and they go into different types of, forbearance, 3 months, 6 months, it adds years to it. It's amazing how much interest accrues. If you're talking about a $200,000 loan, how much interest accrues in freaking just 6 months?
Yeah.
It's absurd. I mean, and I paid for, I think my school, I was the last year because I went to a private school, and I was out of state, so it was higher. But back then, it wasn't what it is today. But my class was the last class they had a tuition freeze. So my tuition freshman year was the same senior year, where everybody else's, if it went up, then you tough nuggies, right? And I think I paid for about 70% of my schooling through loans.
Yeah.
And it was a 10-year loan. That's what it was. So I paid off it took 10 years, but I had to take that 6 months because I was like, shit, I got out of school. The state of Pennsylvania was on a hiring freeze for any state police or anything. So I'd taken my civil service test. So I had to get a job somewhere. I got a job making $300 a week, taking care of severely handicapped adults. And then I got a job with Enterprise because it paid the most. And that was like the rest is history.
Yeah. So, Graham, like I said, he's going to, Purdue now, but the military's paying for that, which is good. Smart, just go to college and while he's in the military and let them pay for it. Amber, she went to a community college. Well, it used to be a community college. Now it's a state college. She had friends go to like UCF or USF and UCF for nursing. And I mean, just crazy, loans that they had to take out. And
yeah,
she never wanted to do that. She went to a smaller school, still got the same degree, coming out, working side by side with her friends, making the same amount of money. Now they have all these huge loans because they wanted to go to a fancier school and thought they were going to get a better education. I don't know.
Well, a lot of folks do that for the experience too. But again, if you can't afford the experience, I got a guy work for me, hired him. He was working alongside of people who went to Pitt, they went to freaking Penn State, and everything else. He got his degree through Harrisburg Area Community College, 4-year degree, got it there. He lived at home. He went to school. He got the same job as freaking people who were paying outrageous amounts of money.
Yeah.
And it also depends on the degree you get too. I mean, you can go to a freaking big school and come out with I don't ever downplay anybody's degree, but you can't come out of school with a degree and go, well, shit, this doesn't pay that much. Well, you went to a very expensive school. If you're going to go to a very expensive school, then make sure that what you want to study, that you are going to be able to make a living that's going to pay for that freaking student loans as well as whatever else you want. Don't go to a freaking school that's that expensive and come out with just a general degree and expect that you're going to freaking hit the ground running. Like if you come out, I got a degree in economics, or I got a degree in business, or I got a social worker, 4-year social work degree. That's great, but you're going to come out making X amount of money. And if you have a shit ton of student loans, then stay in school longer to get a specialized, get a doctorate, get, a master's, do what you got to do, because that's when you come out and make more money, but you have to stay in a little while longer, an extra 2 years, an extra year, just do it and get it done, because you're coming out with a degree that you could have gotten at your community college for a fraction of the cost. And now you're going to complain that the job market doesn't pay you well. Well, the job market pays what it pays.
That's it. Canada's really, really weird about that. I got some friends that live up there, and you need, and they don't care what your degree in. They just want to show that you have a 4-year university degree. Doesn't make a difference what it's in. Mm-hmm. Even for some of the most basic jobs, they just want you have to have a degree. Got to have a degree. For a friend of mine, she was in dental sales for years and years, and she was applying to another company, that sold implants and stuff like that. And then you're like, oh, you don't have your degree. Like, yeah, but I've been doing this for a decade. I know everything there is to know. Yeah, you really, but at the end of the day, like, we'll take a chance on you, with not having your degree. And then she's the number one salesman in the company she works for. And it's absolutely insane.
Some companies will do that. I know in pharmacy, like when I joined Enterprise Rent a Car, you need a 4-year degree. That's it. Doesn't matter if it's education, doesn't matter if it's business, doesn't matter if it's biology. You have a 4-year degree. What it shows is that you were able to go to school, balance out your schedule, get grades to pass, and you had a balance. So that's what they look for. That's why they do that. And then, when you get into like pharmaceuticals, there's some companies that were like, we look for a background in biology, this, that, the other thing. And then there's companies that are like, someone who went to school for 4 years of biology, they can't sell very well. Who gives a shit? But we want someone who has 4 years degree. Or they'll say a 4-year degree or 10 years equivalent of experience.
Okay.
They'll be able to balance that out. But very few do that. A lot want to see 4-year degree. But I have seen some companies that will balance it out with your experience in that particular specialty or within that field. Because if you're, like you said, if you're somebody who has 10, 15 years of sales experience and you've been selling in this medical industry, but you don't have a 4-year degree, you're going to have a hell of a lot more success and do a hell of a lot more than someone who's just coming right out of college with a 4-year degree.
Yeah.
You just are.
That's it. I mean, we get the kids come in and apply for the shop. They spent 4 years at Tech or one of these big fancy colleges, and like that doesn't make any difference. We don't care. Don't care that you're going to make the same. You're not making any more money because you got your degree in automotive, whatever. Because they didn't teach you anything, anyways. About anything about cars that you're going to do here.
Right.
And yeah, it's just some of the degrees are just useless to have.
On that useless note.
Yep, on that useless note. All right. I'm Broadleaf Bully Kevin.
I'm Broadleaf Bully Kerr.
I'm Broadleaf Bully Jen.
And remember,
bullies make good friends.
From Kev, Jess, Kerr, and Jen, we are the Broadleaf Bullies. Thank you for joining us, and remember, bullies make good friends.